welcome back to Money's Book List. It is Trope Thursday, and we are here to talk about a book called The Daughters of Nairi. And this book is a fantasy book, so we're going to talk about fantasy tropes. And in fantasy, there's three types of tropes that can even be contained into one book. And this book does contain those three areas of tropes. We have world building tropes, we have plot driven tropes, and then we also have character driven tropes. And in each of those areas, there are different types of tropes that move this story along, or any story in fantasy. And in this particular fantasy book, I'm going to talk about the world building trope that I'm going to talk about is the artifact, the magical artifact approach. The plot is the quest trope. And then we have the character trope, which I struggled with to put it in one category. And I think anybody would, because yes, the two tropes for the character trope that I just said basically is both is the chosen one and then the evil warlord or overlord. The evil overlord, and we'll talk about more why. All right, quick synopsis of the book. I'm not going to try to give too much away because I still want people to read it and I want your opinion on it. So the book is about two twins who were separated at birth because the current ruler of the earth, they call him the Ose. He believes that any person who gives birth to twins is unnatural. So he kills the mother and he kills the two twins. And he kills the twins, of course. So these two twins, Sanaya and Nyla, they are separated at birth because when their mother is giving birth to them, she passes away. One is raised in the village by their grandmother, and Sanaya is raised in the palace as a low-level noble. Even though she's an orphan, she still has nobility in her blood, so therefore they will raise her in the palace as a low noble. So again, that's where you meet these. That's the core of the story. Is these two twins don't know each other, and eventually they're going to, you know they will, because it's called The Daughters of Nairi. They will cross paths. Other things about this world you want to know is that the Earth Mother, okay, so to give you the hierarchy of what's going on in this world at the time, the Earth Mother is the creator of this earth, right? And then under her are the gods. And then under the gods are these like demigods. I don't know the word that they use in the book, but that's basically like some demigods. And then of course the humans. Where there's this god who is like the god of thunder, and he doesn't like the Earth Mother for some reason, and he wants the humans to overthrow her. So he convinces them that she's evil, and he picks this one. The god is the god of thunder and also the god of justice. And so he picks this human by the name of Ose, and he picks him and he says, look, I want you to be my champion and basically destroy Earth Mother. So he kind of does that, and the way he destroys her is some real Moana stuff. It's go steal her heart, because that's where all her power is. And that's what he does. He goes and steals her heart, and then the Earth Mother is gone. All the gods are gone. And very few of these demigods exist, and these two twins happen to be descendants of one of those demigods. So that's where you are. That's kind of the backstory. And then when you meet the twins, one is literally her wedding day, which is Naya and Nyla, and then Sanai is being pushed out of a window. So that's how you meet the girls. You also, just a little more information about Nyla, because you will understand the next trope. The tropes when I talk about them. Is her village is destroyed by the ruler, and he decides that he's just going to destroy all of the village people because he can't keep his eye on them. Okay? So he's like, you know what? I'm just going to wipe them all out. I ain't got time to keep sending out people checking on them people. I ain't got time to keep going out there. I'm just going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to be like, look, we don't need them. We got all the people we need right here in the kingdom, in the palace, and surrounding cities. Outside of that, they dead. Just get rid of them. Just go and get rid of them. So that's where you are, and that's what happens. That's the core of this book. So So let's talk about the tropes in this book. And again, I talked about the 3 areas. So there's the plot, there's the world building, and then there are the characters. So world building trope is completely centered around the Earth Mother's heart. So that trope is considered what they call the magical artifact. So that's the trope in this, is the magical artifact. That's the world building trope, is the magical artifact. So then if you talk about the plot trope in this book is the quest, because there's a quest. Nyla has to go on a quest to try to defeat the evil overlord, the Osa, because she doesn't know why he destroyed her city, and she just wants revenge pretty much for her people. And then the character plot in this book, I kind of wavered between the 2, so I just settled on just saying there's 2. I would say this is evenly split between the chosen one, which of course is the 2 twins, and then I would say this is also / the evil overlord trope for this book, because Osa is heavy, like his presence, he's always around, he's mainly in the capital, but he is definitely a huge component of this book. He's not just like something you don't read about, or he's just like he's over there and you don't hear much about him. No, there's interaction between him and one of the twins, actually technically both of the twins. So yeah, so those are the tropes in this book. And I would say, I feel like Rennie did a really good job, the author Rennie did a really good job of building the imagery around the trope of the world building. I feel like her world building was amazing. I felt like I was in those small villages. I was in the woods when they were running. I was in the palace, the imagery in the gardens, and the world building in this was amazing. I felt like it was very good. Then the plot was the quest. So here's the thing about the plot. So only one of the twins really knows she's on a quest, and that is Nyla. It's like she is daily talking to herself about how she needs to complete this quest, and get to that dude or destroy that dude. So like, I like that, but then you have the other twin who is technically on a quest, but she don't know she on a quest. She just like, hold up, you want me to do what? Okay, so I'm gonna do this for you because you're gonna do that for me. And so, all right, so that's good. All right, I got that part. Okay. She never knew she was on a quest. She, even up until the point when the ending of the book, she still never knew she was on a quest. So only one of them knew they were on the quest. The other one just kind of was just like pushed into this BS. So, yeah, I felt like one side was written, the one character's quest was written really well. The other one, I guess it was written for what it was, but I would say it was decent. And then of course, the character plot, the evil overlord written really very well. I think it was clear. His mandates, the way he did things, the way he talked to people, the way he handled punishment, the way he punished people, the reason why he was destroying the villages, all that was clearly understood, and you really believed he was an evil person. So I think that was really written very well. The chosen one, this is, people say they have their least favorite trope. It's funny because in fantasy, normally, most fantasy is written chosen one. Most fantasy is written chosen one. So it's really hard to say it's my least favorite because all fantasy, let me say that again. Most fantasy is written chosen one. Like they are just chosen. And I don't want to say it was written poorly. I didn't like either of these characters. I felt like the characters were very flat and one-dimensional. I didn't feel like either one of them, especially Nyla, I didn't feel like she had an arc at all. I don't feel like there was any true arc in her story in this first book. I don't feel like she learned anything for anything she did. I think she had an epiphany, but it was kind of it wasn't a full epiphany. It was like, yeah, I should be polite. Like, it was like that. I don't really believe that Sanaya had an epiphany. I'm sorry, had a really good arc. But there was a side character or secondary character by the name of Cora who had an amazing arc. And it was lovely to see. Unfortunately, I don't feel like any of the main characters had any true arcs in this book. So, with that being said, I can't really say if the Chosen One trope was written really well. I wouldn't say it's not written really well in comparison to other books, because I think it's really subjective. All of this is subjective, honestly. But it wasn't my favorite. Her way of writing it wasn't my favorite. I will say that. Again, overall, this book, in my opinion, gets a 3-star review. Again, I really wanted to just be like, this was the best fantasy I've read. I wanted to say that, but I can't. Yeah, I can't. So I'm not gonna keep apologizing for my opinion. Because I don't feel like I'm downplaying. I don't feel like I'm shitting on this book. I feel like I'm being honest about this book. I think this book has amazing potential. I think she's a great writer. I think she does really well at writing imagery. I just think she needs a little more character development in her main characters. Maybe in the book, maybe in the second book, there will be some character arc. I would just, again, say the first book could have been all the story. It could have been the whole story, and we could be done with this story. We could. I don't understand how, I don't know what, okay, I'm getting too deep. Anywho, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching Trope Thursday. Again, I would say this. Go read the book for yourself. Go read it for yourself. Try to change my opinion. I think the book is worth a read. Please go read it. Please support. I'm not gonna pick up that second book because I don't feel like this was a true arc, and there's nothing like there's no reason for me to want to continue the story, in my opinion. You tell me. All right, until next time, you know what your girl's gonna say.